They didn't want to mention his name at all during the press conference, but we do want to know about him because you got to get a profile on these shooters, see if there's any commonalities here. Dan Bongino is a Fox News contributor, NYPD officer, Secret Service agent, author of Spygate, the attempted sabotage of Donald J. Trump. So as you look at this shooter, Dan, what we know is he was angry. He never slowed down. He put his rifle out. He leveled it, started shooting, and next thing you know, he had killing on his mind. Is there any takeaway from this that any law would have stopped?
Well, Brian, when you look at studies of targeted violence, which is contrast with random violence, let's say, random violence would be someone who just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and is mugged by someone. Targeted violence is somewhat thought out in advance. Now, we don't know the level of any kind of pre-planning this guy had about this attack. Apparently, it was a traffic stop, so we don't know if that's what set him off. But clearly, there was some kind of intent going into this because of he just shot randomly after he's pulled over. But in those cases of targeted violence, there are always red flags in advance. The majority of those cases, a lot of these people gave off warning signs. Some of them very, very simple. Yeah. I mean, in some of the school shootings, which have similar type of profiles, they actually told people what they were going to do in advance. And it just goes to show you that, really you need a heightened sense of awareness sometimes, and you need to be willing to make that call to either the loved ones or law enforcement if you hear something like that.
That's right. And reportedly, there's one story out there that the guy may have failed a background check. But at the same time, there's another story out there, Dan Bongino, about how this guy, the shooter, apparently was on the roof of his house shooting at things around the neighborhood.
Animals.
Neighbor lady called the police and said, look, you got to go. The police could not find him because he didn't show up on their GPS.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Steve, we hear these stories all too often, whether it was Parkland or others, where the warning signs we had just discussed just seconds ago were either missed or were just not followed up on. Right. We hear stories also about, computer errors, things like the NICS system where you're supposed to be a prohibited possessor and the information isn't put in. We saw that, I believe, in South Carolina and in the Sutherland Springs incident as well. It's our job when we design these laws to protect the Second Amendment, but to keep criminals from firearms. But you have to follow through. There has to be some follow through on that. And in some cases, sadly, some of these signs are missed.
Yeah, we heard there was a misdemeanor in his background. I don't know if that would be enough to fail a background check.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I saw that as well. I'm not sure if he was a prohibited possessor on that, but it appears based on the criminal record that may have been the case.
That gunman, I was reading a lot of stories about this, was apparently heading into this crowded, popular movie theater, and police were able to apprehend him and kill him before he did that, so possibly saving a lot of lives there. So those are our heroes this morning. Dan, when we booked you, we weren't sure where this hurricane was going, but it looks like it's heading right towards your house or where you live.
You've been evacuated, right?
Yeah, it's kind of been a rough night, guys. I have to be honest with you. Hence the kind of low-key attire. I'm sorry. I just, my wife didn't sleep well last night. It's been just a rough week. I've only been a Floridian for 4 years, but we've been through now. This is now our third one. And when I first came down here and went through Hurricane Matthew, thankfully it just missed us. We got substantial wind and there was some damage to my house. But Matthew was different, Steve. I know, you have a place down here as well. I was in a place we frequent, both of us, this weekend, and it was empty. The businesses have been devastated. I was in one of the more popular restaurants down here. I think there were 3 tables full. Yeah. It's a wonderful, awesome place. It's always crowded. I took my wife out for our anniversary. It was empty. Some guy joked to me on Twitter, you should have told your wife you booked the whole place. She probably wouldn't have known the difference. But really, with Matthew, Steve, it was different. Everybody thought Matthew was going to hit in Martin County where I live, and they evacuated, and it was scary and frightening. And then when it missed, there was a sigh of relief. There's this eerie kind of feeling down here now where nobody knows what's going to happen because you wake up one morning and it's going to buck north. You wake up the next morning, there's a potential wobble and it may hit us. And with a Category 5, if it wobbles, you're looking at 140, 150 mile an hour plus winds. So I'm hunkered down here. It's pretty quiet in here because I have my shutters up now. My place is a fortress. But, there's a real eerie I was in getting some food after church, and a lot of people, and there was a lady in front of me in the restaurant talking with her husband, and I could see her face. I mean, people are just kind of frightened. But can I just send a quick pat on the back to the first responders and everybody down here? The government and state officials have done an absolutely amazing job, so well done.
Well, stay safe, Dan Bongino, and everybody else down there in Martin County. Thank you very much for joining us.
We're praying for y'all. Be safe.